The New Testament builds on the foundation of faith established in the Old Testament. Through Jesus Christ, salvation is offered to all who believe, not by works, but by grace through faith. This message echoes the stories of Abraham, Rahab, and David, showing that faith has always been the key to a relationship with God. Join our community of believers by liking and subscribing. Today, we're uncovering a timeless principle from the Old Testament that still impacts our lives to this very day. We often think of salvation as a New Testament concept, a gift given after the cross. But what if I told you that from the very beginning, God's people were always saved by one thing, faith? Today, we're diving into the Old Testament to prove that righteousness has always been a matter of the heart, not just our actions. Our story starts in Genesis 15. God has made a powerful promise to Abram, a man who would become Abraham. God promises him descendants as numerous as the stars. How does Abram respond? Genesis 15:6 tells us, "And he believed the Lord, and he counted it to him as righteousness." Think about that. Before the law of Moses, before any of the great deeds Abraham is known for, his simple belief was enough. God didn't make him do a good deed to earn it. His trust in God's promise was the very thing that made him right with God. This is the foundation of our faith. It's a relationship of trust, not a transaction of works. Now, let's jump to a different kind of person. A woman named Rahab. You'll find her story in Joshua chapter 2. She was a prostitute living in the city of Jericho, a city hostile to God's people. When 2 Israelite spies came to her city, she chose to protect them, hiding them on her roof. But why? Was she saving them for personal gain? Not entirely. Listen to what she says in Joshua 2:11. "For the Lord your God, he is God in the heavens above and on the earth beneath." Rahab had heard of God's mighty acts, and she believed in his power. Next, we come to a man after God's own heart, King David. David was a warrior, a king, and a worshiper, but he was also a sinner. How was David saved after such a terrible sin? He didn't offer a sacrifice grand enough to cover it. He didn't try to perform enough good deeds to make up for it. Instead, he came to God with a broken and contrite heart, as seen in Psalm 51. He trusted in God's mercy and forgiveness alone. From Abraham, the father of faith, to Rahab, the unlikely believer, to David, the flawed king, the message is the same. Salvation has always been a matter of faith. The Old Testament isn't just a book of rules, it's a testament to God's grace and his desire for a relationship with those who believe in him. So, when we put our faith in Jesus Christ, we are joining a long line of believers who, from the very beginning, have trusted in God's promises. But the story doesn't end in the Old Testament. The New Testament continues and completes the message of salvation by faith. In the life of Jesus, we see God's promises fulfilled. His perfect life, sacrificial death, and victorious resurrection become the foundation of our faith. The Apostle Paul writes in Ephesians 2:8-9, "For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not from yourselves. It is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast." Throughout the Gospels and letters, we hear the same message echoed again and again. Faith, not works, is what brings us into a relationship with God. Just as Abraham believed and it was credited to him as righteousness, so too are we invited to trust in Jesus and receive the gift of salvation. The thread of faith runs unbroken from Genesis to Revelation, inviting each of us to take our place in this story by believing, by trusting, by faith alone.